Hi everybody, welcome to the online class of Ideal English Higher Secondary School. In this video, we are going to continue our chapter Amigo Brothers. I know you are very eager to continue the chapter as it is on friendship. In last class, we have talked a lot about friendship and we expect to discuss more things on friendship once we are back to the normal classroom. Okay, anyway guys, in this video, at first we can have a flashback of the story, then we'll continue the chapter. Okay, so Amigo Brothers. Amigos means friends. So it is written by Perry Thomas, and what do you know more about this chapter? The main characters of this chapter are Antonio Cruz and Felix Vargas, and the settings, the place, a boys' club. Okay, so when we continue, the characters, main characters of the story, as we said, Antonio and Felix were the main characters of the story, and they were very close friends, very thick friends, and they were 17 years old. Both of them were 17 years old and had known each other since their childhood. They were very thick friends and they were friends since from their childhood. Okay, what else? And we had talked about the physical features of both. Antonio Cruz, how does he look like? Antonio was fair, lean and lanky, and his hair was falling over his head, always falling over his eyes. So this was the physical features of Antonio. And what was the physical features of Felix Vargas? The physical appearance of Felix Vargas is he was dark, short and husky, wore his black hair in a natural afro state. So all these things will be needed for you to prepare a character sketch of both the characters. Okay, so all these things were discussed elaborately in last class. So it is just a flashback. We are just remembering what we had learned in last class. Okay, what else did we learn? An ambition. What was their ambition? Were they idling their life just like the other youngsters in the community? Never. They both had a great ambition to achieve. What was their ambition? They had a dream of someday becoming a lightweight champion of the world. Both of them are boxers, boxing champions they were, and both of them had the same dream of becoming the lightweight champion of the world. Yes. Then what happened after that? They worked so hard to achieve their goal. We discussed this, right? They used to run by the riverside, they used to go to the gym, and they worked both together to achieve their goal. Then what happened? So, a strange thing happens in their life, which one they didn't expect to happen. That was, both of them had to fight each other. We already told you that they are very thick friends, even though as the ambition was to get a lightweight champion, they had to fight each other. After elimination bouts, they were to meet each other, the winner to represent the boys club in the Golden Gloves Championship tournament. So the tournament is going to be conducted. The tournament, Golden Globe Championship, is going to be held, in which only the winner can participate. So representing the boys club, either Antonio or Felix can participate. Both of them can't participate in the tournament. So to participate in the tournament, they had to fight each other first to show who is mightier than the other. So this was the strange situation that they were facing. After that, what happened? They sensed a new world rising between them. They are thick friends, and both of them had the same dream they sense a kind of words rising in between them. They feel some kind of difficulties in sharing things. Even though they crack jokes, they do not laugh, they do not enjoy the laugh. They do not enjoy the fun. They work together, they learn by the side, alongside of the river, and they do not feel comfortable to talk each other because they are going to fight. Each of them, they are going to face each other. So they sense a kind of war rising between them and decided to stop seeing each other for a while until the match. They won't see each other. They decided. So that's what their decision. When they felt some difficulties in their approach, they talked each other and found a great solution that they should not meet each other until the match. Yes. What happens next? They hugged each other and left the place, deciding not to meet each other until the match. Even then, they are partying and they decided not to meet until the match. Even then, they knew they are thick friends and they hugged each other, showing their affection, and they parted. Yes. Even after parting, they could not keep the thought of the match away from their mind. Even though they had parted, they separated, they had gone two different ways. As we learned in last class, Antonio went to his home and Felix went to his aunt's house at Bronx. So even after parting, they could not leave the very thought of the fight. Because unlike any other game, boxing, you can be a champion of boxing only by defeating your opponent. How to defeat? Beat him up, letting him fall. Right. So this was the condition. They could not forget the thought. They could not avoid the thought of the match. Yes. So what did Antonio do? So he wanted to keep his mind away from the thought of the fight. So he went to the rooftop and to practice some kind of steps, some footworks, and some punches, some imagery, so that by engaging in some other works, he thought he can engage his mind and evade the thoughts of the fight. So he went there, and so he couldn't find any kind of comfort there. And what happened in the case of Felix? Felix went to his aunt at Bronx. He went to his aunt and watched a movie. He wanted to keep his mind away from the thought, and he watched a movie named Champion, and it was about boxing. The movie was about boxing, and seeing watching the movie, he saw the boxing match in the movie, and he saw himself in the ring beating his friend. So this added his worry. So this increased the disturbance of his mind. So he left the place. He came out of the house, walked through the street, expecting that he can find some kind of relaxation there. But that also couldn't give him any kind of relief. Yes. So Antonio and Felix won the match quickly. Neither wants to hurt his friend. Both of them wanted to win, and they thought they should win the game without hurting my friend. Antonio thought, I have to win the match without hurting Felix. He's my friend, so I need a quick knockout, a quick win. I need. The same way Felix thought, as Antonio is my friend, I cannot harm him much. I want to win, but without hurting much, without causing any pain to my friend. That was, they both were thinking. Okay, so this is what we discussed in last class. Now we are going to cover the chapter. So you have to read the remaining part of this story, starting from last posters until Antonio responded. So both in page number 42. Start reading. Use the textbook to read the textual parts. If you don't have a textbook, you can pause the video and read it. I'm not going to read it. If you want to read using this video, pause it and read. And when I turn the slide, again pause it, read. And each slide you have to read until the destination comes. Okay, hope you read the textual part completely. It is very compulsory to read the textual part. As you know, in last examination, around 10 marks were based on the text. Even though you have a good mastery of the language, without having much close connection with the textbook, you can't score much in English. So it is very, very necessary to read the textual part. Okay, anyway, you read it completely. Now we are going to discuss what is being said here. Before going to the explanation, let's watch a video which will be very helpful for you to know how fierce the match is, how fierce the match boxing. How fierce, how strong, how savagely is it a boxing match compared to the other matches, other games? We all play with our friends, sometimes in the same team, sometimes in opponent team. Right? We play football, cricket, and we defeat them and we do not find anything bad. But do you think boxing is also such a same game? Just watch and find what might be the difference between games like cricket, football and boxing. Here you go. Watch the video.
It's a Game of Thrones within the lightweight division, just as it is elsewhere throughout the 17 weight classes of the sport. A resurgence seems to be brewing within the 135-pound division, with arguably the best fighter in the sport calling lightweight home. The division is poised to become a feeding frenzy of great fights for years to come. And the old saying, all good things come in small packages, now seems more true than ever. The race to see what division of boxing is the best.
You can see the lectures, many terms come in our chapter, like Bob and Amigo,
seems to be the lightweight division.
So many terms related to the game. So Bob and Amigo, that is just what you saw, the movement with his head. And football, you can know the football of the movements of their foot.
Plain and simple, the man is a stud. With 3 of the 4 belts of the division draped around him, the unified champ is the king of the division. Looking away from Loma's kingship is the other belt holder of the division, Richard Comey. The African assassin Comey is a big 135-pounder. At 5 feet 8 inches, with a 71-inch reach, Comey's power and highlight reel knockouts have surely given would-be opponents.
Look how fierce that
it's hard to believe Teofimo
And
Lopez
this is a great workout.
The
You
scary
can
part
see
is,
the
he's only doing
workout
good.
of people
One can
that
argue that El Brooklyn hasn't been tested in the
Great deal of
division,
work
but he'll
on
have his toughest test to date when he faces the champ Comey later this year. Now, let's wait and see if he can pass with flying colors.
yes, once
Whenever a
your
fighter
opponent
gets a
is
protege
fallen
tag thrown at
and he's
them,
unable
it's
to
always
get up,
best to tread
you
lightly.
win.
Often, fighters will get caught up in their very own hype wave pool. That doesn't seem to be the case with Floyd Mayweather protege Gervonta Davis. Davis's move up in weight to 135 could be the best case scenario for him. With no word on who he'll face first at lightweight, our minds are starting to wander. How great would a scrap between him and Loma be? Or what about him and another wonder kid of the division, Ryan Garcia? Man, oh man, we are pumped. Young and talented seems to be the division's motto. And another great young name that comes to mind is Ryan Garcia. The kid looks like he walked off an Abercrombie & Fitch photo shoot, and at 21, he has the talent and potential to turn into something really special. The Golden Boy fighter who hopes to become the next Golden Boy of the sport is undefeated with 15 of his 18 wins coming by way of stoppage, and can become a household name in just a few short years. Devin Haney at 20, like Garcia, has an enormous amount of potential. When most kids are enjoying Sweet 16 birthday parties, Haney was making his pro debut. Now, with 23 fights under his belt and an undefeated record, Haney is the interim WBC champ. His next fight should be against Pavlov Lomachenko or any of the other current 135-pound champs. With plenty of exciting names like Loma, Comey, Garcia, and now Davis, there are no shortages of intriguing matchups at 135 pounds. And with the age of some of these fighters, we can be treated to some great fights for years to come. The old saying is true, good things sure do come in small sizes.
Okay, that's how the theory works. Okay, dear boys, you have watched the video and you understood how fierce, how savage the match is, and how great hard work is needed to be a good boxer, right? So it was the case with Antonio and Felix. Both worked so hard and they are able to achieve their ambition. But the strange thing is this: they are to fight each other. Then what happens? Let's see. So, as any other match, especially when two great teams fight together, it is a celebration for the peoples, right? Especially in the case of cricket, if it comes India with Pakistan, the game is going to be very special. Sometimes it is valued than the final itself. And when it comes to the football, right, when Argentina faces Brazil, it is some other thing, right? It is sometimes it is a celebrated than the final itself. So the same thing happens here. The match is between Antonio and Felix. So the people around there, the fans of both of them have their own fans. They are celebrating this. Large posters were plastered on the walls of local shops, announced the fight between Antonio Cruz and Felix Walters as the main bout. So this is going to be the main bout. Bout means, bout a boxing contest. Right, you can see tri-count bout. So it's something like a tournament, boxing tournament. So their game is going to be the main bout. The fight had created great interest. The neighborhood. So it created a flutter, right? The neighborhood of the place are in great expectation of watching this fight. Antonio and Felix were liked and respected. Each had his own following. So both of them had their own fans. Antonio had his own fans and Felix had his own fans too. The fight was scheduled to take place in Tompkins Square Park. The morning of the fight, Tompkins Square Park was a beehive of activity. So many people doing so many works, as it is a tournament. A tournament takes a lot of things, right? You need to prepare the rings, you need to prepare the podium for the speakers, you need to prepare the seats for the viewers to sit, the fans. So then you have to arrange the way for which the fighters can come to the ring. So all these things were going on. So the place was a beehive of activity. You know what is beehive? Beehive of activity means beehive, you have seen. Beehive, where bees live. So if you look at a beehive, you can see they are always busy. The bees are never at rest. They do not take rest. They do not relax. They are always moving here and there, making noise, humming, so flying around. So it is said, if you say there it is a beehive of activity, it is very busy. All of them are very busy. So you have seen people doing so many work. So this is said to be a beehive of activity. Okay. With numerous workers setting up the ring, the seats, at the guest speakers stand, the scheduled bouts began. The scheduled bout began shortly after noon, and the park had begun filling up even earlier. So the same thing happens when it comes the match between India and Pakistan. The ticket is sold very quickly, right? And the stadium gets filled very quickly because all the audience, the fans are very, very eager to watch the game. The same thing happened here to the seats filled up very soon. What happens then? The waiting time was over. Felix was escorted from the classroom by a dozen of fans in white t-shirt, and only was escorted down in a different stairwell and gathered to a roped off view. So both of them were taken to the ring, and they were followed their own loyal fans. And it was a roped off way. Roped off way, you know, a way that is blocked by rope. You must have seen like this, a way that is blocked by using rope. This is said to be roped off way. So both of them were taken to the ring to a roped off way. Then what happens? Yes, as the two climbed into the ring, the crowd exploded with a roar. Antonio and Felix both moved gracefully. So they got onto the ring, and the viewers, the audience, the crowd exploded, made a loud noise, expressing their anxiety in watching the movie. So the fighters, they bowed gracefully. Gracefully means with utmost respect, in a respectful and dignified way. So that's how they do. Once they get onto the ring, they grace the crowd. Yeah. And then raise their arms. They raise their arms. Acknowledgement. Then raise their arms in acknowledgement. Acknowledgement means recognition of the importance of or the quality of something. So they know that how important is the match. They raise their hands, showing their recognition, showing their importance. He turns so now the fight is going to start, and both of them face each other, and they nodded their head, and they are going to start the fight. Yes, up to this we have read, and now the fight is going to start. Then what happens? You have to read the remaining part from Boom, boom, boom. The roar turned into stillness. They turned and danced quickly towards their corners. So read the textual part using your textbook. Those who do not have textbook can pause the video and read slide by slide. Okay, hope you read the textual part. Now let's continue the chapter. So it starts with a bell. You have seen a boxing match start with bell. So it is an announcement actually. For any game, if it is when it is along with the announcement, it adds to the beauty of the game, right? Especially we used to watch cricket and football, for which there will be commentary, right? We used to listen to the commentary, which adds to the curiosity of the audience, of the viewers, right? And we have listened to the falling and rising of the tone, which keeps us on the peak of excitement, right? So announcement is an integral part of any game, right? So this championship, this tournament is going to be started along with an announcement. So once the bell rang, boom, 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 it's the sound of the bell, the roar turned into a stillness. All the audience, all the people were raising their voice in acknowledgement, in excitement. But once they listened to the sound of the bell, their voice was lowered. They stopped shouting, "Ladies and gentlemen," the announcer spoke slowly. He's speaking. "Now is the moment we have all been waiting for. The main event between two young Puerto Rican fighters." So the announcer speaks. So this is the moment we all were waiting for. So, and they are Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican means it is their nationality, as we are known as Indians. Puerto Rico. Announcer gives information regarding the fighters, and he says, today we are going to witness a great match between two young Puerto Rican fighters. Puerto Rico means their nationality, as we are known Indians. They are known as Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican, a native or inhabitant of the Caribbean island of Puerto Rico. So you can see the map here. It is a small island in Caribbean Sea. Okay, so there are Puerto Rico. Okay, the announcer continues. He says in this corner, he introduces both the fighters to the audience, saying about their weights and their names, and he says that only the winner can participate in the Golden Glove Championship. So the winner of this match will represent Boys Club in Golden Glove Championship, and he wishes may the best man win. And the game starts, and the cheering of the crowd shows the window pane, so they are very excited to watch the fight, and so their cheering shook the window panes of the surrounding buildings in Tompkins Square Park. And at the center of the ring, the referee was giving instruction. You have already seen in the video the fighters stand in the ring. So in the ring, the referee was giving instruction to the fighters like what, keep your punches up, no low blows, and no punching on the back of the head. Keep your heads up. Understand? Okay, so all those instruction was given, and let's have a clean fight. Now shake hands and come out with fighting. So just like any other game, they shake hands and start fighting. Both youngsters touched gloves and nodded. They nodded with their head. They touched their gloves and nodded with their head. They turned and danced quickly to their corner. So after touching the gloves, they both came to their corners, and now they are about to start a fight. Now you can read the textbook starting from bong 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 round 1 to Antonio gracefully danced his way towards his stool. Use your textbook to read the textual part. Those who don't have textbook can read, pause the video after each slide, read completely, then again play and pause once I change the slide. Like, okay. Okay, hope you finished reading. Okay, now listen. So first one starts. Felix and Antonio turns towards each other, squarely in a fighter's pose. Squarely means straightly, in a straight manner. You can see the word meaning squarely means directly without deviating one to one side. Both of them face each other. So once the match began, it was Felix who started. He came towards Antonio bending, came head low, half hunch. Half hunch means making his back round shape like this. You can see the picture that his back. So hunch means to lean forward with your shoulders raised or bend your back. So in that way, Felix came towards Antonio, towards right shoulders and lashed out with straight left. So Felix started very soon after the game started. He gave a very good punches to Antonio, and he missed the right cross as Antonio slipped. He missed the right cross as Antonio slipped the punch and countered with 3 lefts that snapped Felix's head back. So the same way Antonio retorted, he also gave some beautiful punches which set Felix's head back and sending a mild shot coursing through him. And if Felix had any small doubt about their friendship affecting their fight, it was clean and neatly dispelled. If he had any doubt that our friendship will affect our fight, the doubt was cleanly dispelled. Dispelled means the doubt or thought that is clear is said to be dispelled. Okay. So Antonio's left hand was like a piston pumping jobs, one right after another, with seeming ease. As we said, Antonio was lean, having long hands, so his hands were just like a piston pumping jobs. Piston means, you can see the image here. Piston means I think like this, a short solid piece of metal that moves upward and down inside a cylinder. You have seen something in an engine or something like that. Something moves up and down very quickly. The same way Antonio's hand moved up and down fastly, just like a piston pumping towards Felix. Okay, and the scene is Felix bobbed and weaved and never stopped burning him. And at the same time, Felix was not getting beaten, he bobbed and weaved. Bob and weave means to lower your head to evade the punches, right? Move here and there. This is said to be bob and weave. Bob and weave means make a rapid body movements up and down and from side to side. You can see the image to escape from the hit by the opponent, you move your head here and there, sometimes up and down. This is said to be bob and weave. Okay, so as Antonio was hitting, just like a piston, and Felix bobbed and weaved. He knew that at long range he was at a disadvantage, as Antonio had long hands. He could hit Felix even if he was standing at distance. So he had to come so close to Antonio to fight and to get the much dreamt of knockout. Knockout, you all know, especially in boxing, knockout means knocking someone out, dispelling. Antonio knew the dynamite that was stored in the fist, in his Amigo brother's fist. So Felix, he was short and husky, and in his fist he had dynamite. Dynamite, something can explode. And he ducked short right and missed a left hook. So as Felix was hitting, he ducked. That means bent. Dynamite means high explosive. That means lower the head or the body quickly to avoid a blow or missile so as to not to be seen. So move, lower the head of the body, to lower your head and escape from the hit. Okay, so he ducked a short right and missed a left hook. Left hook is also, this one is also a term related to boxing. Left hook is a boxing term for short sideways inside punches. So it is inside punches from sideways which land on opponent's jaw, aiming the jaw of the opponent. If you hit, it is said to be hook, right, left hook and right hook. And you can see the image, keeping our hand in that way. When you hit towards the jaw of your opponent, it is said to be hook. Okay. So missed the left hook. Felix trapped him against the rope. So Felix trapped Antonio against the rope that you have seen in the ring, and he started to give him some punishing rights and lefts. Rights and lefts, he started to give right to the hard midsection. Midsection means the belly part. The image you can see here. So this is said to be the midsection. So he was giving punches to the midsection of Antonio. Okay. Antonio slipped away from Felix, crashing two lefts. So as he was trapped, now Antonio slipped away from Felix's hand and gave some beautiful punches to Felix, and which sets Felix had right here ringing, started to ring. Felix walked briskly towards back to the corner, and Antonio gracefully danced towards his corner. So in this point, Antonio had some kind of power than Felix. Now let's continue. You can start reading from round 2. Then what happens in round 2 till they were worked until their circulation ran free. Pause the video, use your textbook and read. Those who don't have textbook can read using this. Pause after each slide, read it carefully, play the video, again pause, read. Okay, hope you finished reading. Now listen. Again, now the second round started. Felix came off his stool and rushed towards Antonio like a bull, sending a hard right to his head. Antonio heard sent back a blurring bandage of lefts and rights that only meant to pain Felix. So as Felix came towards Antonio, he hit and Antonio gave some blurring damage. Blurring means something that make your eyesight blurred. Blur means make out or become unclear or less distinct. Make your eyesight unclear. Barrage means an overwhelming quantity of blows. So a lot of blows Antonio gave to Felix only to make him painful. Okay, Felix bobbed and weaved, but as Antonio was stating, Felix was not just getting beaten, he bobbed and weaved. We have seen the image of bob and weave moving your head up and down, side to side to evade for the hit. Bobbed and weaved, he casually punching his toes, two blows together, punching his two blows together. Antonio waited for the rush that was sure to come. So Antonio was waiting for the punch because he knows Felix very well. So he was expecting some beautiful punches, some strong, phenomenal punches from Felix. For the rush was sure to come. Felix closed and feinted with his left shoulder and threw a right instead. So feinted means it's a kind of teaming that we used to see in football also, showing that you are moving this leg and you move that other one. The same way in boxing also, they show the action just like they are going to hit with you the right and they hit with the left. Feint means make a disruptive or distracting movement, especially during a fight. So making you believe that I'm going to hit you with the right, he will hit you with the left. That is such a feint. So Felix feinted his shoulder and turned a right. Rights to the body, lefts to the head. Rights to the body and left to the head. Neither fighter was giving an inch. Both of them were fighting very fiercely. Suddenly a short right caught Antonio squarely on the chin. On Antonio's chin, he got a great punch. His lower legs turned to jelly. Jelly means something very loose and cannot stand properly. Jelly, and his arms flailed out and desperately. Felix, grunting like a bull, throwing wild punches from every direction. So flail means to wave or swing rapidly. Antonio was waving his hands rapidly, and at the same time Felix was giving punches from every direction. Antonio groggily bobbed and weaved. Still Antonio was bobbed and weaved. Groggy means weak or unsteady. He was weak and unsteady because he got a hit right on his chin. Still he was trying to bob and weave, evading most of the blows. Evading, you have seen evade means to escape or avoid something. So he was bob and weaving, means he was trying to escape from the hit by Felix. Suddenly his head cleared, his left flashed out hard and struck catching Felix on the bridge of his nose. Right onto the bridge of his nose, Antonio gave a great punch. In a fog, Felix heard the roaring of the crowd who seemed to have gone insane. So he seemed to fog all around, and in the fog he could hear the roaring sound of the crowd who have gone insane. Just like crazy people, they were making noise. He said clear to hear the bell sound at the end of the round. The trainer sat him down the stool in his corner, and he was doing what all fighters do when they are hurt. They sit and smile terribly. So both of them were taken to the stools and they are taking rest now. The referee signaled the ring doctor to check the fighters out. So as both of them are hit very hard, so hard, the ring doctor comes and taking them, and he gives a okay, and they were rubbed until their circulation ran free. So all this happens. If you have watched boxing game, you can see all these things happens. Doctor comes, they check, and they give, okay, again the hot one, the wooden ones fight, right, this happens. So after that, once their circulation free, they again started to fight. Okay, now continue reading from round 3 till the end of the story. They left the ring. Okay. Pause the video and use your textbook to read. Okay, hope you read the textual part. Now the third round is going to start. Now it has been tic-tac-toe, pretty much even. Tic-tac-toe is a kind of game where one takes a chance, then the other one takes the chance, again he gets the chance. So it's exchanging of chances. The same way it was here. Antonio was hitting so hard, and later it was Felix's turn. He would give back as fiercely as he received. The same way Antonio gave it back. So it was just like a tic-tac-toe, pretty much even. But everyone knew there could be no draw, and that this round would decide who is the winner. So this is the last round. So far in first round, Felix got an advantage, and the second round Antonio got an advantage. So this is going to be the deciding point, right? As per their performance in this round, the winner will be decided. Okay, this time to Felix's surprise, it was Antonio who came out first. Antonio came first, charging across the ring. Felix braced himself but couldn't ward off the barrage of punches. So as Antonio was giving a lot of punches, he tried to brace. Brace means to prepare someone for something difficult or afford something difficult to run person. So as he was going to receive punches, just braced himself, prepared himself to get beaten, but he could not ward off the punches. Ward means to avoid being hit by someone, but he couldn't avoid being hit. He received all the hit given by Antonio. Yes, Felix tapped his gloves, commenced his attack, and knew Antonio tried boxer's cushion to the wings, jumped in to meet him, both pounded away. So, the same way, Felix started his game and knew, just like the beginning, he came fast and started the hit. Now, Antonio throwing away the instructions given by the referee, he jumped up and gave a good throw a lot of punches, and both of them pounded away. Pound away means to harm or batter constantly on someone or something, to harm or to beat fiercely. Both of them were beating fiercely each other. Neither gave an inch and neither fell to the canvas. Both of them were fighting so fierce, and neither fell down. The sounds of their blows were loud in the contrast to the silence of the crowd gone completely mute. The referee was stunned by the savagery. So now all the viewers, all the crowd had gone so mute, so silent, because they did not know who is going to win. So far both of them gave a very good, fierce, wild fight, and they could not predict who is going to win. So everybody was silent, and the sound of their blows was clearly heard. So again the bell rings. boom, boom, boom. The bell sounded over and over again. So after the third round, again the bell rings. Felix and Antonio were past hearing. They heard the sound, but they were not listening. Their blows continued to pound on each other like hailstones. Even after the bell, the last bell, they were fighting. They were pounding each other. Finally, the referee and the two trainers tried Felix and Antonio. So at the end, the referee himself interfered and he departed. He took both of them away. He, along with some trainers, they pried apart. Pried Felix and Antonio apart. Cold water was poured over them to bring them back to their senses. They looked around and rushed towards each other. So once they were pried apart, cold water was poured out on them to bring them to their senses. Even after they ran towards each other. A cry of alarm surged through the Tompkins Square crowd. A cry of alarm, a cry of fear started to rise. Was this fight to death instead of a boxing match? Is this match going to be a fight for death? All the crowd, they thought this fight will end only after one's death. As even after taking them apart, they ran towards each other, not towards each other. Boxing match is the fear soon gave way to wave upon waves of cheering as the two amigos embraced. Actually, this time they were not running towards each other to fight. They were running each other to embrace, to hug, to show the thickness of their friendship. How close they are, how intimacy was there in their friendship. No matter what the decision, no matter what the decision, they knew they would always be champion to each other. They displayed a great fight and both of them hit so hard, but still their friendship remained intact, unaffected. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner representative to the Golden Gloves Tournament of the Champion is... So the announcer is going to announce who is the winner, who is going to represent the boys club in the Golden Globe Championship. And he started his announcement, and as he turned towards the fighters, the announcer turned to point to the winner and found himself alone. Arm in arm, the champions had already left the ring. So before the announcer finished his announcement, who is the winner, they didn't buy the fighters, they didn't wait until the announcement came. They had left the place arm in arm. They showed to the world their fight. It is just a game. It has nothing to do with their friendship. Their friendship will remain intact forever. Nothing can break it. This was the story written by Perry Thomas. How is the story? Hope you all enjoyed the story. Read the story again and again. Watch the video if needed. There are a lot of word meaning along with images. So this would be very helpful for you to understand the chapter. And a few more activities are there after the chapter I'll be giving you. Anyway, now I'm going to stop this lesson here. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.